Well, thanks for joining and helping us to do this. I appreciate it.
Pleasure being here.
And I know a little bit about you guys, but not a whole lot. And I guess the two of you work to help businesses primarily?
I do. We have a couple of functions. One is to help people who are job seekers find their jobs, and the second is to help the jobs find the people, and that's what I do.
And you work with the people to find the jobs.
Yes, that's right. We work with the job seekers in order to assist them with the job readiness and help them to go back to work in a short period of time.
Right. And what's the average time now that people are getting?
I will say in the last 2 years, we have seen people going back to work in less than 18 months.
Wow. Huh. And that's from a layoff normally? Or
yes.
Yeah,
Well, actually, we work with two different type of populations. One is dislocated workers, those that lost the job with no fault of their own, and the other ones are the low-income adults.
I see. So they're the primary population. If you lost a job, you're looking for another job, or you're low income and struggling to get a job, right?
Right. Actually, the low income adults, most of them are working, but they are trying to upgrade
I see.
maybe their skills to get a better paying job.
I see. So they have a lower income job and they're trying to better themselves.
That's
in life.
right.
So with somebody like that, so what kind of help could they get from you for that?
I would say those working adults, actually they come here for job trainings, basically.
So they already have a job.
Yes.
But it's not good enough.
That's
or
right.
They feel they want to better themselves. And then what kind of assistance could they get from you guys?
Okay. We do an assessment to try to find out where they are in regards to the job skills that they have. And also some of those people, they come here to get assistance with their English. Montgomery County has a large immigrant population.
Right. Now, so you have classes, English classes?
We don't offer the classes per se, but we send them to different training vendors. Basically, Montgomery College is the one that provides the English classes.
Do they have to pay for the classes?
We pay for those classes.
You pay for the classes?
Yes.
Oh, that's awfully nice.
We have funds through the Workforce Investment Act
to pay
for a job seeker to take.
Now, even if they're having a job, but they need a better English to improve, so you could have a full-time job if you're lower income, right, and have difficulty with English, and they'll send you to an English class.
Yes.
Right.
And the beauty of the English classes is that they could take classes in the evening or on Saturdays, so that will not affect their work schedule.
Come to mind, we have all this stuff about immigration now and in our society. If documentation for that.
Yeah, that's a good
that's an issue here too.
Because we receive funding from the federal, the state, and county governments. In order for us to serve them, they need to at least have work authorization.
A work authorization?
Work authorization, yes.
Right.
Otherwise, we cannot help them.
Yeah. So you need to be here legally.
Yes.
Yes. So that's the issue. So we get that up front.
Yeah.
But people think you have to be citizens, to use it. But it's not citizen. No. You just have to be here legally.
Yes.
And want to work.
And want to work. Right. Oh, that too. Detail. So that if you're struggling with English, then you could help them with that. What else can you help? Like somebody trying to better them.
Yes, we have noticed also that a high percentage of the population that we serve, I would say 95% of them, they really struggle with the resume. So we provide assistance with the resume writing, resume critique. We offer different type of workshops in order to assist them. Some others, they are struggling with the job interview. We have a workshop that could help them to be better prepared with the job interview.
Are there charges for that?
No, all of our services are free.
Right. So you could be having a job that you're unsatisfied with and say, I want to do something better. You're struggling with English. You don't even know how to do a good resume. Come here. You can maybe go to English classes at night, help you prepare resume, job interview skills, and things like that to get on your way.
And also some of the people that we work with, they have other barriers like housing. We are seeing some people that they don't have food. Therefore, we might be able to do referrals to help them with different needs that they might have.
So if they have other issues, whether it's transportation, housing, food, and things like that, you may be aware of other programs to refer them to. Yeah.
That's right. We make referrals for them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just recently, we got some assistance from the county in regards to some smart trip cars to help customers who are struggling with transportation. And we are giving now those cars to them in order to facilitate the job interviews.
Cards or cars?
Cards.
Cards. So they got public transportation.
Yes.
I see. So another bus money.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. That's wonderful.
Bus and metro.
Yeah,
metro.
bus and metro.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if I may, I wouldn't want you to think that we only serve one or two types of population here as well, because for this population that Nuri is describing that we serve very well, we also have in this county very robust high-tech, IT, biotech industry. And occasionally, actually not too long ago, we had a company purchased by another company, a biotech company. They were bought for the intellectual property. They didn't want the building or the people, all these scientists and IT people, so they were all laid off. So we actually put together with other companies in this sort of similar business a kind of a job fair, brought them in here, brought the scientists and the IT people in, get presentations from each of the companies that say, this is who we are, this is why you'd want to work for us. And then they sort of break and go to their corners, if you will, and the folks can go around and interview, learn, actually have interviews on the spot, provide resumes and stuff. So, I say we help everyone from rocket scientists, to entry level.
Well, that's good. Now, I know a lot of people think that you're the unemployment office, so it's really low-level skills or something. And even though low-level skills are a very important part of our economy, it's really here for everybody. Executives. No, I know people. I know a doctor who really lost his job as a doctor, and came to this one here, or maybe the one in Columbia, Maryland, which is I guess not Montgomery County, so it's another. But he was able to get training money to go learn another skill, so his to get be more employable even as a doctor. That has surprised me. Yeah. So it is for all incomes.
It's for everybody.
Yeah. So now so you were talking about in the individuals if they're laid off, right?
Yes.
So it's the same kind of skills for being laid off then? I mean, the same kind of services?
Yes, the services are the same. However, in regards to the training, that base, I will say we customize our services. We have counselors that assist our customers one-on-one, and then we assess their skills. Some of them, they are coming here to make a career transition. Because the industries in which they might be working, they are not really the best ones in regards to their skills or the income that they need. So we assess those skills and try to figure out which one is the best path for the training.
So you're making, say, $50,000, $60,000 in a mid-level job here in the county, and you lose that job. So you come here and assess whether you're the job maybe it was in a buggy whip. I mean, that's a bad one. But repairing typewriters, right? Actually, there was a place right where I live. A guy went out of business. So he was a typewriter repair. Obviously, that's not going to be around much.
Right. So people come here and they could have transferable skills that you could take with you from one industry to the other. But in regards to working skills, we need to figure out which ones will be the best training path or the industries in which they might get a job. And we have a counselor that provides career assessment for that.
I see. So they can assess whether this person needs other training that he could go back and get training for. Do you guys also have, I know some of them may have entrepreneur and people want to start their own business. Do you have that program here? I know it's in selected counties or something like that.
It's part of the County Department of Economic Development actually has programs to support entrepreneurs. They have small business, minority business, self-help groups, and they do classes and frequent classes on, very popular one is how to sell to the government, how to become a government contractor, and so on, which I think is the way you started your business.
Absolutely,
and so they kind of cut through the red tape and give you an outline of how to do it. And basically, we are an agent of the County Department of Economic Development. And so we work
Can you
closely with
use
them.
the money here to take like entrepreneur classes or something like that, or use your, what do they do? They still call it unemployment money? What do they call that?
Your unemployment compensation?
Yeah, unemployment
insurance,
compensation. Can you use that? Say you lost your job and say, well, I want to start my own business. Can you use that unemployment compensation money while you're training or learning how to be an entrepreneur?
Well, we need to make the distinction because we're talking about unemployment benefits, and that's the insurance that people get whenever they lose the job
Right.
through a layoff, and that money is given by the state in which they work for a period, I will say,
Right.
24, 26 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Just this basic money just to survive and help you to go
Exactly.
back to work. However, the monies that we're talking about for training, those are the monies that we get from the government.
I see, the
Yeah,
federal government.
the
So that's
federal,
different,
the state, and the county. And yes, there have been cases when we have been able to help people that want to start their own businesses. They will need to submit like a plan of
Yeah.
action
Mhm.
and stating why they want the training, and then we need to figure out
I
which
see.
classes will help them to be
Gotcha.
better prepared to start their own businesses. Yeah.
And there's one other additional service that the county offers. You know, we have these, they're called Incubators,
Oh, yes.
Innovation Centers. There's one right here in this building on the 7th floor with probably a dozen 1 to 2 person companies up there, entrepreneurs all, and the county provides them at a reduced rate office space, equipment, meeting space, and this kind of thing as they get started. And then the business has to have a good business plan to get in there, and they have to meet certain criteria, and then they can graduate from that onto a standalone, which we have a number of.
What kind of
those
businesses are up there now? Do you know off the top?
yeah, there's businesses that do marketing, businesses that do design, and one of the more interesting ones that I learned about this week, a business that does manages and plans events for wine tastings.
Oh, really?
Indeed.
Now, why did you learn about that?
I don't remember their name, but so whatever floats your boat, so to speak, as an entrepreneur, you have an idea and a good business plan, you can make it happen, and this is a great place to do it.
And so the county government really helps you and subsidizes the rent, I guess, or something like that, the other service, the marketing help and everything that you would need, the same way like you for an individual looking for a job. And your side of the office helps businesses, small and big.
We do, indeed. And among other things, we always are working to hook up the people that Nuri and her team are working with the businesses that we're seeing. And we see, everything from the giants like Lockheed Martin and Marriott Corporation, who have vastly different sorts of jobs, and to companies like our buddies with the wine company. And any and all of those, we're very delighted to help with recruiting. Is probably our basic service. We run something called the Maryland Workforce Exchange, which is a free job posting that any employer can go on, click on www.mwejobs.com for Maryland Workforce Exchange. And it asks you, are you a job seeker or a resource or a employer? If you're an employer, you click that, you enter your federal employer ID number, and then you can post your jobs. You can post them so that it's transparent to the job seeker as well, if you like, so that they'll get responses and they won't, it's not obvious who the company is.
Oh, I see, right.
And you can even have them come to us, and we'll collate them for an employer. So we offer various levels of services to employers to help them find the.
So in other words, if you're a company looking for people and you have the criteria, you could post it on there, and you guys will do the first pass to make sure that these people are alive or something.
Indeed. Exactly. And we can actually do the posting. It depends on the level of service an employer wants and needs. And second level is we'll actually advertise and host a company to come in here and interview people. Say many do they'll come from 10 to 2, and we'll have 30 or 40 people come through in that time. to do their first pass screening interviews, and sometimes they even do drug testing on the spot, meaning they do swabs and put them in a...
Are you, for the first service online, is there a charge for that one?
There is no charge. No. There's no charge for the second service.
No kidding,
as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and you'll advertise for the
work.
job, and you say, hey, I'd like to interview people if I get this position, or I need 15, whatever it is.
We have numerous partners in the county and numerous avenues, and we do posters, and we have a site at a mall at Lake Forest Mall in Gaithersburg. We have one of our centers. We have one right here in Westfield Wheaton. And so we put posters
right, that
up
nice
there.
facility you showed me. Yeah, they're wonderful.
And where we also specialize in customer service training, especially for people who speak other languages. So, so there's just an array of services that we will offer an employer to help them with their recruiting. And then, of course, there's the one that first brought us to your attention, and that is we also administer a program which will help an employer pay for training for their workers. And that's called the Incumbent Worker Training Grant
Incumbent
program.
worker.
Meaning they're already there. It's not for new
see,
employees. They must have been employed for 3 months and be full-time and be eligible for benefits. And
benefits at their company.
At their company, and get half the cost of the training reimbursed to the company. It's not for individuals to file for their own college tuition or something, but it's to enhance the skills. A computer class, human resources class, a safety class, not safety, but a laboratory techniques class, something like that. All of these have been approved.
So in other words, if I had a small business, I had 5 people who wanted to, I got to get trained with something, and I'd come to you guys and figure out if I could get like half that training money paid for by you guys, right?
And you could indeed.
Yeah.
And you would basically email business_services at montgomeryworks.com. Business_services at montgomeryworks.com, and say, I'm interested in the training grants program, and we'd be happy to talk to you.
You mentioned them. I mean, it's for all kinds of business. You're talking about massage therapists.
I did indeed.
Tell that story. That's a wonderful story.
One of the things I do, and one of the things I hear a lot, is that we're the best kept secret around. Not a lot of companies and people know of this service, and so I'm active in all of the county chambers, and there are many chambers of commerce here. From the
this is why he wants to know about the wine test.
Large Montgomery County Chamber to Wheaton, Kensington, and Bethesda, Chevy Chase, and so on. So I go to those, and I also try to speak at a Rotary Club or some civic club every month. And at one of the Rotary clubs, I met a person who has her own business and is very active. She teaches yoga. She's a contractor for the county, does some of those classes, and is very cutting edge, and is still studying and going to classes.
So she's an individual practitioner.
She's an individual, owns her own company.
Yeah.
She filed for training for some kind of specialized movement, muscle stuff. And,
I don't know that.
It's $200 or $300 for the class, and she got half of it.
Wow, that's terrific.
Indeed. And others have gone for very high level computer training, for $2,000 a day, and got.
So if I was a video production company and I wanted to learn like Adobe editing classes or something like that, and it was like a $500 class to get Adobe editing. Are you listening, Mike?
Indeed, Mike. And the key is to apply at least 3 weeks prior to the training, so we have time to help you make the application approvable, so to speak.
How about you? Do you have any sample stories of how people, favorite people?
Yes. We have a guy. This one was a man coming from Central America. While he was working with asbestos, he had an injury on his back, and he thought that he will be able to go back to work because of the injury. Even he had surgery, and he was having such a hard time going back to work, and the finances of the family were really, really bad. He was in a desperate situation. He came to Montgomery Works, and he was referred to my unit, and we started assessing his skills and all that, and then he realized that in order for him to work, he needed to be self-employed, to create his own business.
I see.
Then he took a CDL training.
CTL?
CDL.
What is that?
CDL, that's for the commercial driver's license.
Oh, I see.
A commercial driver's license training. He succeeded with the training.
So you guys hooked him up with that? I mean,
Yes.
your office hooked him up with the driver training?
We started like a pilot program when he came with Montgomery College.
I
And
see.
then he succeeded with the training. Then he found an employer that was willing to hire him. He worked with that employer for 6 months. He acquired the experience that he needed. Then he moved on to a better paying position. And during that period of time, he learned to drive dumpsters, dump
see,
trucks.
dump truck, yeah.
Yeah, and then he realized that he could be his own owner.
I
So
see.
he created his own company. And he saved the money while he was working during those 9 months, and he bought his own truck.
Wow, within 9 months he
Yes.
was able to do that. That's phenomenal.
And then he started his own company.
Yeah.
And he is so grateful because he said, I never thought that Montgomery Works could be able to help me.
And you guys got him the training and everything, and he was out of work when he came to you, I guess,
Yes.
because of his back. Huh?
Yes, it was
Yeah.
a really
That must
serious
feel
injury.
nice, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and we are so excited for him. He was one of the candidates. We submitted his story to the county, and he was selected
see.
as one of the adult participants of the year. It was a huge accomplishment for him.
So, I mean, you're really trying, I mean, this is wonderful. Maybe you think of, oh, if I'm out of work, I just come here. But you're really trying to upgrade people who are working now. So, as you say, an adult worker, you know, that's stuck, and there's so
Yes.
many people that are, to get better skills while they're working and to improve. And so it sounds like, in between that, you're saying you do one-on-one counseling to help them do that, and skills assessment. And,
Yes.
I mean, it's a complicated process, right?
It is indeed, but I believe that the key factor that I have seen here that help us to succeed is that we are very dedicated for our customers, and we really work with them on individual basis. It's not like a group, but we work on individual basis, and we motivate and we keep up with them. And wherever they are facing obstacles or barriers, we try to help them to overcome those barriers.
Well, this is why I want bureaucrats like you on camera, so people see. You know, it's not just some faceless bureaucrat who doesn't care about what people are doing.
Can I offer also that there are, in the state of Maryland, there are 12 primary workforce centers.
I mean, like yours.
Like
Yes.
ours. We have 3 locations here. So there's 3,500, I think, around the country.
Yeah.
So if you're in Montgomery County, you're lucky because you have Nuri and her team. But no matter where you are, you're really not that far. I was at a National Association meeting earlier this month and working in a workshop with some folks who serve a 12-county rural area in Wisconsin. Similar problems, similar solutions, and similar services.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
you'll find these stories wherever you go.
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to be sure I didn't forget, and that is that I think the requirement is once you're on getting your unemployment checks, insurance checks, within a period of time, you have to come here to register for an early intervention workshop.
I see.
If you are selected by the state, yes.
Yeah, if you're
You have to.
And so, in order to keep getting it, and what we find is that a lot of the people who may be like me have been in the workforce for a number of years, you know, with a degree and so on, and say, why do I have to do this? Come in kicking and screaming and leave saying, why didn't I know about this service? They took one look at my resume and said, you got to do this, this, and this. You're all talking about what you've done. What I want to know is what can you do? How do these skills transfer, et cetera? So you know, it's wherever you find yourself, as Nuri says, there are people here who can help you.
You know, another thing interesting too, I think you guys help with like a lot of people laying off people now. So if you're a business, and see what I worry about is that people, like whether it's someone from South America looking for a job and they go on Craigslist and somebody's going to charge them thousands of dollars to do what you're doing for free, right? And to prepare a resume or help you get a job. Everybody promises whatever, and you could get very sophisticated stuff right here, for nothing. But also, I think if you're laying off even like 5 people, 10 people, whatever, in your small business, and you're thinking, well, I better hire a consultant to help these people. You guys do stuff like that too, right?
Indeed, and in fact, I think we go a step further than quite often those outplacement services do, because we will actually try to help these people find a job, as opposed to just equip them with skills. Out there, outplacement companies are great, and they teach you how to network, and they'll work on your resume, and they'll do a lot of the things we do. But where
they charge,
they charge a lot, and then we go that extra step is we actually have the people working with the employers here, my team, Nuri's team, who will try to hook folks up and who will actually bring employers in to interview, and that's a big service.
I mean, well, what could be better? I mean, that's what just astounds me. And you see on the web, I mean, you got Monster.com. I mean, I think half the business on the web is either looking for a job or pornography, and everybody on the web has to sell you something, And otherwise they can't advertise. They can't be on the web if they're not selling you something. So that's why it's harder to find you, because you don't make money by being on the web. So you can't be on the first page.
That's right.
And nobody knows about you.
One important aspect that I would like to highlight is the collaboration that we keep with Gerald's unit. We meet very often during the month in order to present resumes of our customers who are ready to go back to work, and then they help us to figure out which companies are looking for those type of candidates. Also, with some customers who are really having a hard time going back to work, we are able to assist them by trying to hook them up with different employers in order to have like work experience or on-the-job training.
I see.
So that means that we are able to offer this specialized type of service.
To get somebody, so instead of just going on, the paper or Craigslist looking for work, I mean, you could find maybe a more quality job because those companies or businesses that are offering something special.
Yes.
And train them for a better career in life.
Yeah.
What about like a single mom or something? I mean,
it's
a huge population.
We have some great success stories about single moms.
Yeah, give me one.
For example, there was a lady that she came to us back in the year 2005. She came requesting a certified nursing assistant training.
I see.
And she said, I would like to take this training because I have a long-term goal. I would like to become a registered nurse. When she came, she didn't have money. She had 3 kids, and she was struggling even with the housing. Finally, she was able to get some assistance from housing assistance.
So you point her to that kind of thing? Or
yeah, we helped her. Yeah, and then she got an apartment subsidized by the government. And then we started working with her towards the training. And while she was in training, we were able to supply monies for her transportation.
Wow.
She succeeded with the training. She got
daycare help or anything, or
she really didn't need it because the kids were not really small. But in some cases, we are able to offer that assistance if the customer is in training.
I see. Right.
Then the lady succeeded. She got her first job as a CNA. Then later on, she called me and said, hey, Nuri, I'm still working on my long-term goal. And she was able to go back to school, and she got a degree as a LPN, licensed practical nurse. And then last year, she called me saying, I have great news to share with you. And she said, could I stop by your office? And I said, of course. And then she brought her letter of employment. She got a job with Nova, the hospital in Virginia as an LPN.
No kidding.
And they offer her tuition to keep building and to reach her long-term goal of becoming a registered nurse.
Good for her.
I mean,
these women that are single moms, I don't know how they do it, and they work like hell. They have 2-3 jobs, and they're going to school, and they're keeping kids together. I mean, they're just sort of like the backbone of our country. Nobody knows about it. Then they have parents they're taking care of, too.
Yes, it's really difficult
phenomenal.
for them.
Yeah.
But we have seen different women to succeed. There was another lady, she came here. She was between, I would say, 40s, maybe 45, and she had two
Young.
kids in college. Yeah, and she was really struggling because she didn't know how to use the computer.
I see.
So we provided the computer training that she needed. She got a position, but also she was facing some critical medical issues. And because we have a partnership with Kaiser Permanente, we were able to help her to get the insurance that she needed.
Wow.
And she needed to have a medical treatment every month because of her diabetes.
Wow.
And we were able to help her with the medical needs that she had also through Kaiser.
So it's not a joke. I'm from the government. I'm here to help you.
Sometimes it sounds like it, but the government does have some wonderful programs, and the money is well spent on very dedicated people like this one.
Wonderful
here.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's a pleasure as always.
pleasure.
Very good.